did want to point out or ask a question real quick as we get started. How many folks have attended a public image boot camp in the past? So let me know if you've attended one in the past, and if you have, let us know your thoughts. So, all right. Yes, there we go. Welcome for 6,900. Okay, lots of folks have. So some of this content you may have seen before, and it's always good to have a refresher. I know it takes me about 4 or 5 times to cover something before I really understand it. So excited to have you all back. And please, those of you that have been here before, please make sure that it's interactive and drop some stuff into the chat, things that you think could be helpful for others. We'll make sure we get all the comments out to everyone afterwards. So of course, yes, it's being recorded, and then we will get the recordings out. We'll get the slides out. There's a special surprise in the middle of this. I don't know if any of you guys caught that in one of the lead up emails. There's a surprise in the middle that I think you're going to like. And then we're also going to send out all the resources. So good to see you all joining for the first time, and some that have been here before. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started because, like I said, we have a ton of content to cover tonight. First of all, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the 40 clubs in Zone 34. A little bit of typo there. Zone 34, Zone 34. It's kind of a duplication, but that received the platinum citation with the highest honors. These are folks that completed every single one of the tasks for the 2021-2022 Rotary year. You'll be getting your citations very soon. Want to make sure that we get those out to you all so that they can be presented by the district governors in the district conference. And so those are going to be coming out very soon. 136 clubs qualified for the citation this year. So that is awesome. It is fantastic to see all those. A number of clubs came up a little bit short, but 136 clubs qualified anywhere from the platinum all the way down to the bronze level. And we're going to be talking a little bit tonight about the district the citation process for the new year and what to expect in that new year. But you're probably asking yourself, if this is your first time here, why the heck am I here? What's the purpose of this public image boot camp? Here's a couple of comments that we've received over the last couple of years, and you can read it for yourself. What our team does is we make sure that we provide resources to you all to make this a really easy job to tell the Rotary story. We're going to talk a little bit later on about how it's everyone's responsibility to tell the Rotary story, and everybody in your club can help. This doesn't have to fall on one person's shoulders. But we have gotten some great feedback over the last couple of years from a lot of Rotarians about the public image citation process, the webinars, the content that we create. That was one thing that we challenged our team a couple of years ago when we took on this position as Zone 34 coordinator. We wanted to make sure that we provide resources. Wanted to make sure that we provided webinars and training and provided templates and examples and how-tos and guides. Plus, most of all, want to make sure that we made ourselves accessible to you all for anything that you might need, your club, your district, anything like that. So always want to make sure that we are accessible. And so, you know, again, is public image really important? And this is a kind of corny, but yes, it's very important. It is so important that we tell the Rotary story, that we are constantly letting people know the great work that Rotary does, both in our communities locally and around the world. So everyone in your club has a job. They may not believe it, but every single person in a Rotary club has a responsibility to tell the Rotary story and to help tell your club story. What is it that makes your club so important? What is it that if your club was no longer existed, why would it matter? And that is the essence of why your Rotary Club exists. Whether it's a literacy project, it's a clean water project, it's maybe doing a global grant somewhere around the world. Maybe it's, you know, doing something in your own backyard, like park cleanups and just what is it that makes your club your club? And so that's what everyone is responsible for doing. So here's my club. This is the Rotary Club of West Jacksonville. And there's Andrew Williams. Yeah. Hey, Kevin, what's up? Kevin, I think you're in this picture somewhere. So that's Andrew Williams. And Andrew, the year that I was district governor of Rotary 6970, he was the public image chair for Rotary West Jacksonville. But it's not just his responsibility. It's Ed's job, and it's Phil's job, and it's Michael's job, and it's Bob's job. it's everyone's job, whether you're a content creator or not, to help spread the news. Everyone has a circle of influence. Everyone has people that they interact with that are potential Rotarians, or maybe they're potential donors to the foundation. Maybe they don't want to be in a Rotary Club, but they do want to contribute to an organization that just makes an incredible difference around the world. So maybe Andrew is creating Facebook posts, but you know what? Ed, Bob, and Mike, they can all share those posts, and their circle of influence can see all that content. So it's everyone's responsibility in a Rotary Club to tell the story. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of give you that roadmap to the public image citation. This is something that we came up with a couple of years ago, and it's been really successful because the scariest thing to do when you take on a responsibility like being the public image chair is, if you've never done something like this before, is, oh my gosh, what do I do first? What do I need to do? And so we've kind of created this roadmap, this path, to make it very easy to navigate. One thing that we've also done, the way that we've structured this citation, is we have front-loaded it with a couple of tasks that are repeatable, but they're also sustainable. And when I say that, I mean that these are artifacts that if you create in your club, you can hand them off to the next public image chair, and they can hand them to the next public image chair. There may be some updates and edits from year to year, but it's like that old folder that we used to pass around in Rotary Clubs. The next chair gets it. And it's all the things that you did your year as the public image chair, and helps them form the foundation for their year, so that they're not starting from scratch. And one of the most important things that you can do is build a public image team. And of course, this isn't going to be the same for every club. If you've been to a Rotary Club, you have been to a Rotary Club. Every club is a little bit different, has their own culture. Some clubs are much bigger than other clubs, so maybe they don't have the resources to have multiple people responsible for public image. But you need to kind of find that sweet spot for your club. Maybe you have someone that is the public relations chair, or someone that does social media. If you're the guy that gets the website and technology, that's you, Kevin Hurd. You may be stuck with that for a while. I was stuck as the webmaster for Rotary for the West Jacks Rotary Club for about 10 years. But you know what? You need to find people that can help and support. Everyone has a phone in their pocket, so everyone can be that guy in the middle with photography. Everyone can take pictures at Rotary Clubs or Rotary projects or service events and stuff like that to kind of show what your club does. So it doesn't have to fall on the shoulders of one person. And as I said, we're gonna share this slide deck after the webinar. We're gonna send it out in the follow-up email, but we did kind of put together some very brief job descriptions of what those roles might include if you have the ability to have 3, 4, 5 people on your team. But at the very minimum, like I said, you may have a core of 1 or 2 people that is doing the public image chair's job. But again, they can get help from others. Others can take pictures and share them with that chair. So that person doesn't have to be the one that's always running around at every club meeting or at every service event taking pictures. Everyone can take pictures. Everyone can talk about or share, information about the event. So there's ways to distribute the work, even if you're not a large club. And when we talk about some best practices, things that you can do as a public image chair is provide updates to your own club. We think about the external audiences of Rotary and the people that are outside our clubs that we want them to come in. But it's very important that we talk internally to our own members about the things that our Rotary clubs are doing, the great projects, the great events, everything that our club is doing that makes our club so fantastic. Because you know what? That makes people want to stay and be a part of the club. That helps with retention, because people have that sense of pride in their club and know that they're a part of that club. And so that's very important. Demonstrations and training. This is a funny one. A couple of months ago, I was visiting my daughter at university, and just dropped into a breakfast club that morning out of town. And that day, the young lady that was the public image chair started the meeting by doing a demonstration to show a lot of the members how to post on Facebook. A lot of people didn't know how to post on Facebook. And so at the beginning of their meeting, she showed them, you click this button, or first you install this app on your smartphone. You have a smartphone, right? Okay, so you install this app and then you do this and this and this, and it was really fantastic. And you can do that with Instagram or with LinkedIn or Twitter. And so it's demonstrations and training is a great way to show people and to get people on board to help you with your public image strategy. Highlighting club members. There are so many amazing people in Rotary. And every club has just really interesting people that have really neat stories. And highlighting those club members is a great way to let others in your community know, oh my gosh, I didn't know that Bob was in Rotary. Bob's amazing. He has done all this neat stuff and he's a Rotarian. I think Rotary's for me. I think I want to be a part of Rotary. Some other things real quickly, always show the impact. We talk about the taboo picture of the check presentation, and that's great, but that is not people of action. And as Rotarians, we are known as people of action. And so you can have the check photo, but maybe don't post that check photo until after that playground is built, or those meals are served, or those toilets are built for that school in India. Show the impact of that contribution. Because handing out checks is great, but we're people of action. We make things happen. What is it? Join leaders, exchange ideas, take action. So show the impact of those donations and don't just show that check picture. Again, encourage members to tag and share. That kind of goes back up to highlight club members, but also to talking about your projects. Tag folks and let their circle of influence see that they're a part of your Rotary Club, because those ripples get exponentially bigger and reach people that you may not think that you could have reached. And those people are their friends on any of these social media channels. They're going to see those members as part of your Rotary Club. Again, we talked about the content that instills pride in your club. And again, always encourage members to contribute. Many hands make light work. That's pretty well known. So again, we've started our journey, and there is our public image team. We've put our public image team together, so we have other people helping us out. And even if you don't have other people helping you out, always know that you got the Zone 34 public image team at your back. So if you need some assistance, give us a call, reach us through our email or any of our channels, and we'll be glad to help. But you got that team put together. So what do you do next? Well, this is the first task that we had every year, is to conduct a club public image audit. And this is so important because you always need to, inspect what you expect. And so go check out your website. I heard the story of a district governor that was going to visit. He was doing a club visit, going to visit a club, and he showed up at the location that was on the club's website. He got there and the restaurant said, oh man, they haven't been here in 8 months. So check the website, because that is your front door to your club. And think about all the potential members you might have lost because they went to the wrong restaurant. So check out the website, make sure all the information is current, make sure that if you have a website that you're posting with some frequency. Don't let it show pictures from a service project 6 years ago. People are going to wonder if you even exist. And a lot of the questions nowadays, and people ask, do we even need a website? Some clubs have decided we don't even need websites anymore. We're going to do it through, Meetup as a channel. I know a lot of Rotary clubs use Meetup. Some folks say Facebook, a Facebook page or a Facebook group is going to be enough for them. So that's for you to decide. If you have people in your club that have those skills and that's something that that can be sustained and can be updated regularly, maybe a website. Passwords. This is a real tricky one because, I've heard stories where people can no longer access social media channels that they thought they had the password to. Someone left. I heard a horrible story where someone passed away, took that password to the grave, and no one had access to his email anymore to reset it. So when you're thinking about passwords, one best practice is to maybe create a club email account that is shared by multiple people, so that if something happens, multiple people can reset the passwords and all have access to change passwords on the different channels. We talked about club info, logo usage. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but make sure that all your social media channels are using the correct mark of excellence and the correct master brand. You know, people keep referring to it as the new logo. The logo has been around for 9 years now. It's not new. And if you see that old master brand, that old mark of excellence being used, please update it because, again, we want to have a very consistent, uniform positioning of Rotary to the outside world. We want them to know that when they see that Rotary logo, it's very consistent across all channels, all clubs, all districts. So be checking that Rotary logo. We did talk about the zombie accounts. These are accounts that, you know, maybe a super eager Rotarian when they first joined started a TikTok account or maybe a MySpace or AOL account back in the day and hasn't been updated in 10 years. It's what we call ghost and post. Go find those zombie accounts. And if you do have access to them, shut them down because you do want to make sure that you are consistent with your posting. You want to show that your club is vibrant, your club is active, your club is doing really great things in the community, and it's a place that people want to be. And so you can do that through regular posting, very consistent. And that's one of the things that we talk about when we go through our citation is we don't want you to go out of the gates, you know, blazing hot and post every day for the first 2 weeks and then not post again for 3 months. It's that consistent drip. It's that consistent once a week, twice a week, whatever that cadence is for you or your club. Make sure you keep that consistent cadence so that you're regularly posting content. But again, make sure you check all those other social channels and find those social channels that you may not have known about. Do a Google search for your Rotary Club name. It might be interesting what pops up. You might find some stuff that you didn't even know existed. Now, this is some research that came out from the Pew Research Center about a year ago, and I was checking every day for the last week to see if they had updated this for 2022, and it hasn't been updated yet. But this is still really great content in terms of demographics by the various channels. And so you want to go take a look at this. Again, you'll get the link in the email tomorrow. But also Pew Research Center has some really great content on their website about, you know, a lot of different things around social media, and it's all free. All these white papers are free. So go check this out. One thing that really sticks out is, you know, we found that Facebook has become somewhat stagnant in terms of growth. But if you want to attract younger members and maybe you want to attract more women to your club or maybe more minorities, look at Instagram. Maybe that's not your current demographic, but that's a demographic that you want to pursue and introduce to your club. Those are great places. Big news today, Elon Musk did it just for us. He bought Twitter. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Twitter over the next couple of months. But that was some surprising news. And you know, we just did a webinar a couple of months ago on LinkedIn, and we'll provide the link to that. Some great stuff on LinkedIn because Rotarians typically, not always, and it's not a requirement to be a Rotarian, but a lot of Rotarians are professionals and they're looking for that opportunity to network. So go check out that webinar on LinkedIn. Embracing the logo, I kind of mentioned that a minute ago about making sure that you have the right logo and the right brand usage on all your channels. You can do a quick pick of that QR code and go read this email or this letter that came out about a year ago about the importance of why it's so important to use the correct Rotary logo. So check that out. Now, this is the interactive portion of our webinar. And we're going to let you guys check out your Rotary logo knowledge. Kim, you want to go ahead and lead us off and maybe help get people to participate in this quiz?
Sure, no problem. So,
All
hey,
right.
everybody. As an RPIC team, we go through a lot of posts that we see out there and things that we see on club social media and club information. And we're always looking to see what can we help them to do better? What can we share with them from our knowledge that will help them to represent Rotary in the right way and their brand in the right way? So I put together a few things that we recently looked at that we talked about and discussed. So we thought it would be a great way for all of us to kind of have a discussion about that, to say, okay, what's right, what's wrong, and do a little poll. So the first thing you do is you want to look and see, are the logos correct? So is that the right Rotaract logo? Is that the right Rotary International logo? Is that the right Interact Club logo? And then you want to see, has it been put together in a correct way? Is there proper spacing or location? Have they been connected correctly? And are we using the right colors? Or have they been stretched? Have they been put together utilizing everything that it should? So this is another example of, okay, here's the Rotary logo. Is there anything good or bad with that? And so we have discussions among ourselves. So what do you think about this one? Is it missing something? Should it be in a different color? Are we using the right brand? Are we using the right presidential theme? Are we using the correct presidential imagery? So all of that, and have we connected it all together? Are we using multiple things and creating kind of a chaotic look? Are we, have we put this together in a really imaginative way and we all love it, that we want to share it with other people? So that's basically the kind of thing that we do when we see images, and then we share them with each other so that we can, one, if they need to be corrected or edited a little bit, we can help everyone to see why. Or is it missing something? Or is it absolutely awesome and we want to throw it out there on the Zone Facebook page? Or perhaps we saw it on the Zone Facebook page and we want to take all those people who are liking it and sharing it and tell them, hey, by the way, here's what should be, or here's what we could do better. So that's the RPIC conversation, and all of this is done because we appreciate everyone's efforts and creativity and desire to promote Rotary, and all of that is important, but to make branding correct and to give Rotary the imagery that we want it to have, the cohesive imagery, we want to make sure everything's done the way it should be. So that's why we put this together.
As we said, if you think you have a creative or a really cute idea of something to do with the Mark of Excellence, please don't. Please put that energy towards the rest of your project, your creative piece, your graphic, your social, your program. Please make sure that you always keep the Mark of Excellence just the way that Rotary gives it to us. And that is the way that you find it on the Brand Center. So with this first one, we have a lot of results in, Kim. Kim, I see we have mostly trending towards D. We have some in C. So Kim, what's the answer?
So here's the answer. The answer is that logos themselves, except for the center one has been changed and has been retired since 2015. So it should always be all gold and with the word Rotary next to it. And all of these should not be connected. There should be space in between all of them. So if you're going to use this separately, then you want to use Rotary and the word Rotary next to it at some other place on your document. So the correct answer for this one would actually be D, because it's violating the branding guidelines and it is not using the correct logo.
All right. Now, this next one, I tell you, there was a lot of discussion on the Rotary Zone 34 Public Image Team WhatsApp one day when this one popped up. This one is a little bit nuanced. So, Kim, what do you say?
So we ended up saying that this was a pretty cool image and we liked it. However, It does appear that the logo is a little bit squished, and we let it go because it's close, pretty darn close. And so this one actually is D, but there could be a good argument for B, I guess. It's using the right logo, but it's not the right color. It looks like it's been changed to a brown color.
Yeah, for this one, you know what? I would almost lean towards B. I get this. I get it's kind of skewed because the graphic is actually at an angle, and you know it is the wrong color. But let me tell you, we've seen a lot worse. So this one would not keep me up at night. This one was a pretty cool graphic, and so this one would probably get a pass because there were much bigger fish to fry, as it were. Which, speaking of, number 3 here, Kim.
So again, I'm sure you guys are all pretty sure that the logo itself is using the retired logo, not the all gold version. And then serve to change lives is the presidential theme is supposed to be underneath the symbol. And then putting anything in the space of the Rotary logo is not okay. So it should have its own space around it. So for all of those reasons, and probably a couple other ones, it violates branding guidelines.
Yeah, you should never crop the Rotary logo. It should the mark of excellence should always be seen in its whole and complete, no cogs cut off, nothing. And then nothing should ever be overlapped on top of it. So and then again, yes, this is the 9-year-old. It's been replaced 9 years ago. I told someone, I said, you know, a newborn is new. If our Rotary logo is a 9-year-old child now, the newest one, it's been around for 9 years. It's in 4th grade. It's not new anymore. All right, so let's go on to the next one, Kim. This one, we seem to be trending towards D with some C's. What do you think?
So Serve to Change Lives is a presidential theme for this year. And it ends June 30. And then you have the Rotary with the logo, which is good. You also have the presidential theme together, which is for next year. And we're not supposed to be using it until the new president comes on board, July 1. So this has got both of those pieces together. And then you can kind of see that the actual font of Imagine Rotary may not be this year's font. And so for those reasons, we said, okay, this one violates branding guidelines just because of those things. We had some other comments and we wanted to like it, but unfortunately we weren't able to.
Absolutely. And then remember a minute ago when I said that if you think you have a really creative or cute idea for the Rotary logo, just don't. Well, here it is.
So this one takes next year's theme, presidential theme. It's out there now. And the little dots around the logo are supposed to be the areas of focus, but this was creatively used to show continents. So they've edited next year's presidential theme. So while creative and probably took a very long time, isn't actually correct and shouldn't be used yet.
Awesome. So we just had a question come through and it says, what is the proper action when you see a district club using wrong logo formats? And I can tell you, if you feel comfortable and you feel like you have a really good understanding of the proper usage of the logo or the master brand or the mark of excellence, you know, in a very polite, diplomatic way, you can share those observations or that recommendation to the person that's using it. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, then you can always reach out to someone on one of the zone public image teams, whether it's the 34 team, the 33 team, if you know anybody on a zone public image team that you could reach out to. I can tell you that there are some people on our team that have mastered brand diplomacy, we'll call it. These folks could be international ambassadors for helping people understand the incorrect usage and kind of, just being polite about it and helping people understand, because for the most part, people don't know. People they go to Google, they do a Google search to find the Rotary logo, and they download it, and then they think, oh man, I'm going to make this really, really sing. I'm going to do something really cool with it. And so people just don't know. And that's why every time we do one of these public image sessions, we do try to devote a little bit of time to education, just so that everyone participating has that deeper understanding and greater understanding of using the Rotary logos. And just because we know it takes a number of times before we can get it out. So it's been 9 years and we're still seeing the old logos. So, if you feel comfortable, have that conversation. If not, send them our way, and we'll let Kim call them. Right, Kim?
Hey, I'm good with that, because I think everyone who's in Rotary truly wants to do good in the world.
Exactly.
And so all they're trying to do is be creative, and they just may not realize that their creativity stepped on a boundary line, and just gently sharing with them that, hey, this is pretty awesome. I think you could make it more in line with branding guidelines by doing this, and help them do it. So we're happy to do that. And, the hard part is when you look on your club website or your club Facebook page, and you share that little tip that, hey, by the way, this isn't quite right. And then you can't get it changed. That's the tough part. But to have that conversation and to try to help them get it right is what we know everyone wants.
And Kim, you nailed it. Rotarians are just passionate about this organization. Rotarians love being part of Rotary, and they just get very eager, and just need to channel that passion and make sure it's being used correctly. So I absolutely agree. Well, Kim, Sean, thank you all for helping out with the interactive part of this session. That was a lot of fun. And we'll put some more of these together in the future, because again, it's always important to continue to make sure that we're using the logos appropriately. So jumping forward, we put together our public image team, and we did our audit. We found those zombie social media channels that were no longer being updated, that we had posted and ghosted, or we found bad information on our website and updated that. We made sure that all of our social media channels, or all of our websites, or all of our brochures were using the appropriate logo. So we're through the audit. And so one of the next things you want to do, and this is really important because it helps you chunk your work, is putting together a content calendar. This allows you to take a holistic view at your Rotary year starting on July 1, and think about all the things that are going to happen, all the things that your club has planned for the next 12 months, and start putting on a calendar. Well, we need to post about this week, and we need to post about this week. You know that you're going to have that big social maybe a big social event. Maybe it's a membership mixer. That's going to fall in August because that's membership month. Or that the foundation month is November. And so there's some great things to talk about the foundation in November. Oh my goodness. In October, we have World Polio Day. And we probably need to kind of build up to that for 2 weeks ahead of time to really create a big splash in our area, because we are almost at the point where we're going to see the end of polio in the world. Or maybe you have a big service project coming up in the new year. Maybe you do something with RILA or with other youth. So go ahead and put a calendar together and identify all those kind of those places in your calendar where you know that you've got content that you need to prepare. And even if you don't have content every month, remember I said it's so important that you're consistent, that you don't just post once a month and then go dark for 2 months. You can go to great places like the Rotary Vimeo channel, or there's the Zone 3334 Facebook group. And I know we have friends that are on this call from all over the world, not necessarily Zone 33 and 34. So maybe your zone has a Facebook group where people are sharing stuff, or the social accounts that Rotary puts together are fantastic, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. I know, and I've even seen some Snapchat stuff from Rotary. I found out that we have, and I'm going to show in a minute, we have a Giphy channel. If you want to create some GIFs or GIFs, if that's how you pronounce it. So there's great content sources. And every month, Rotary has a theme. And so maybe that's going to be like the guiding light for that month for you. Maybe you're going to talk about what's exciting in the new Rotary year in July with incoming President Jennifer Jones and her Imagine Rotary theme. Or again, we talked about World Polio Day or anything. Just think of those examples every month that you can talk about and have content ready to go. Now, here's a content calendar that we've used here at Zone 34, and it's just an Excel spreadsheet, and we've kind of delineated whether it's a social media post or a webinar or a blog post. And it's just a simple Google Sheet. Google Sheets is great. I love Excel, but Google Sheets is great because it's really easy for multiple people to get in there at the same time and collaborate. So maybe you put it into a Google Sheet, and we can make some copies of this available to you as a template if you like. So that's one way to do it. Now, I'm the president of a digital marketing agency here in Jacksonville, Florida, and this is how my team puts together their social media marketing channel or calendar. They use a tool called Trello, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on this, and that's why I took a screenshot. I didn't want to touch it because I didn't want to break it, but they're talking back and forth, tagging each other, uploading content, talking about what we're going to mention in each month. So they use Trello, and they've got a whole kind of a system going where they look at all the quarters, they look at all the content ideas, and they kind of curate content ideas, and then they have all the completed posts in another list. So Trello is certainly a way to do it. And then Canva, if it's not a Zone 34 Public Image Team webinar if we don't talk about Canva. We love Canva, and we think you should too, because it's a great tool. And Canva actually has a built-in content planner if you have the Pro version. Now, the Pro version is $10 a month, and it's a great deal. For $10 a month, you get all the free photos and videos and music and clip art and everything, but you also get the content planner. Now, if your club or your district has a foundation, or maybe you have have access to a 501c3 in the United States, a nonprofit, they do offer a free pro account of Canva to 501c3s or nonprofits, and it's up to 10 people. So we have one for the Zone 34 Public Image Team. We have a free account of Pro Canva, and everyone has access to it. So, but the bottom line is Canva is fantastic because it also has that content planner. One other cool thing about Canva is it's got that brand kit. So you can upload all of the proper logos. You can make sure you upload the correct master brand, the correct mark of excellence. You can upload the current presidential theme, but also you can upload all the different colors. We have official colors, and this allows you to upload all those colors into Canva. And that way you can make sure that you're always consistent with the brand standards inside of Canva. You don't have to go looking on the Rotary.org website and the brand center to find out what the color is, because it's all baked into Canva once you load it once, and everyone on your team has access to that. So we're big fans of Canva. We like Canva a whole lot. We did do a webinar about a year ago on Canva. There's the link right there. And I know when we were putting on the boot camp, we asked you, what would you like us to cover? And a lot of people said, more Canva content. We want to know more about Canva, or can you do another Canva session for newbies? And we heard you loud and clear. And that's something that we're certainly going to be working on for the new Rotary year, is to refresh that Canva webinar and, show a lot of new stuff, kind of show it off. What I highlighted here is one of the other great things about Canva is, a lot of folks are always trying to figure out, what are the dimensions of a Facebook post? What are the dimensions of an Instagram post? Or maybe you have a Facebook page or a group, what's the header dimensions? Canva already has all that figured out. You can hit new design, and then it says, do you want a Facebook cover? Do you want a Twitter header? And you click that, and they've already got the dimensions in place for you. You just need to design. So another reason to love Canva. This came in from the Rotary Club of Barbados, and I got to tell you, this was really cool, because when we use photos in Rotary, we need to be very mindful, and this is something you need to be thinking about, is getting releases of people that are appearing in your posts, making sure that you have permission to use their photos in your posts. And a lot of times, a lot of most countries, there are privacy rules around minors, anyone under 18 years of age. And the Rotary Club of Barbados just absolutely nailed it by putting these little emojis over the faces of these minors. So it was really cool because you got to see the cool stuff that was going on, and you protected their privacy. And so I was super impressed, Rotary Club of Barbados, the way you handled this, the way you did this to still show the great things that you're doing with the youth, but at the same time, respecting their privacy and putting those little emojis over their faces. I thought that was a really cool idea. Later on in this deck, we do have a link to the Rotary toolkit of a lot of resources that you can use as you build out your public image plan. And one of those is a photo release. Maybe it's part of the onboarding process when you bring in a new member to your club to say, hey, we're going to be taking pictures at our club meetings and at our service projects. Please sign this that says it's okay for us to use your photo in any of these pieces. So maybe that's part of your fireplace chat as you're onboarding people to make sure you have that permission. And then, of course, you want to be very sensitive if you're doing something public facing. Maybe it's a service project or some sort of fundraiser where there's non-Rotarians. I don't know if you're going to have photo releases or just let people know, hey, we're going to be promoting this. Please make sure it's okay that we use your photo, or if you're in the witness protection program, please stay away from the cameras. I told you that Giphy has a Rotary channel, and this all kind of ties into that content calendar. There are so many great resources for content, for you to create content for your various channels. These are great little interactive blurbs that you can stick on top of graphics that have motion. I know everyone's seen GIFs. They're a lot of fun. And Rotary has built out a channel where they have some really neat ones. And some of these are little animations that can serve as a post in themselves. So we'll, again, I keep repeating myself, but I'm telling you, we're going to provide links to all of this stuff in the follow-up email so that you guys can go find this. But if you already use Giphy a lot, I know a lot of folks use it. It's a lot of fun to, instead of typing a response to someone in a chat, to send a GIF. Rotary's got a GIF channel too. So check it out. And then even if we don't provide all the training that you need for Canva, Canva has some great tutorials, and I encourage you to go check it out. They really do make it easy to be a very good designer because they've got templates, they've got the resources, and they've got a complete design school that I would recommend that you check out. All right, whew, man, this is quite a journey, but it's a lot of fun. So we put together our public image team. We've done our audit. We figured out all the content that we're going to plan for the coming year, or at least didn't figure it all out, but we got the big pieces in place. You kind of want those big boulders on your plan, and then you can kind of fill in the little gaps with little rocks here and there. And so what do we do next? Well, it's always important to learn from others. So much of what I incorporate into marketing and into public image strategies, it's by looking at other brands and looking at other campaigns and looking at what others are doing and figuring out, is there a way that I could do something like that in my campaigns or in my social media or my public image? There's the joke that there are no new ideas. And I think to a certain extent that is sometimes true. Maybe it's taking an idea that you see and making it your own, kind of taking a riff on it. Here at the Zone 34 Public Image Team, we call that Rotary R&D. And that stands for rip off and duplicate. There is no need to recreate the wheel. And I learned that from past District Governor Diane Knight from Fort Collins a couple of years ago, that we should constantly be ripping off and duplicating. And if you completely rip off and duplicate something and don't change it at all, please give credit to that organization, that group, that Rotary Club that maybe created that first post. Tip of the hat to Rotary Club of Bonita Springs or something like that. But always, you can follow hashtags on Instagram. We use the hashtag Rotary Shares. A lot of our clubs in our zone use that. And it's amazing to go through the Instagram feed as you follow Rotary Shares and see the great stuff that Rotary clubs are doing across our zone. Follow some Rotaract clubs. You want to learn how to do some really cool stuff? Follow a Rotaract club or follow an Interact club. These are digital natives. They grew up using Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They know this stuff better than anybody. So get ideas from them. We have the Houston Convention coming up next month. You can glean some ideas from there. On Facebook, there's the graphics group, the Rotary graphics group, that is always posting good stuff. There's just so many great resources that you should be able to find ideas and make those your own. And so I recommend that you learn from others. Absolutely. And then there's always the brand center, and this has been recently revamped, and it's a little bit easier to navigate now. They have invested a lot of money into updating the search. So in the past, if you were to ask me how to search the Google or the Rotary website, I'd tell you to go to Google and Google Rotary.org, and then what you wanted to find on Rotary.org. But we just got off a webinar, and they told us that they have invested a ton of money into revamping the search. So it should be easier to find stuff on Rotary now. And they've completely updated the brand center and made it easier to find logos and templates and download images. And, someone, as we were preparing for this webinar and we asked for ideas, they said, we could do a national cable television campaign. And Rotary really lets the public image and the marketing happen at the grassroots level, because everything happens at the club level. It's a bottom-up organization. And so instead of trying to look to Evanston to do those national or global campaigns, on the brand center, there are recorded public service announcements, the People of Action campaigns. Download those. And if you have someone in your club that has a relationship with maybe the local cable company or the local TV station, find out if they have opportunity to put that on their station to fill some of those gaps when they don't sell commercial space. Let that happen at the club level or at the district level, at the grassroots level, that's where all the magic of Rotary happens. So if you need, go check it out. There's some great downloads, PSA downloads in the My Rotary Brand Center area. So go check that out. Now, I told you there was a special surprise in the middle of the webinar. And 50 minutes into the webinar, it's not quite the middle. I hope it's not, because I hope we shouldn't have too much more to go through, but I guess I kind of loaded it towards the end. So we wanted to do something special this year. We wanted to give you guys all a head start. We really appreciate everyone joining us tonight and being a part of the Public Image Bootcamp. This is a big deal. We always feel like this is kind of the beginning of the new Rotary year, where we get to talk about how fun it is to be a public image chair. And so this year, what we wanted to do was we want to make it possible for you to go ahead and get started on your July, your August, and your September tasks. In the past, we kind of started it in late June and early July, but we really believe you need to get started on that public image audit and on that content plan and on putting together your team right now in April. And so what we've done is we're going to send out the links to those first 3 tasks in the email. But when you get to it, it's going to ask you for a password. And the password is All Stars, because every one of you is an all-star. And so when you get there, enter the word All Stars, and you'll have access to the first 3 tasks for the new Rotary year. And I'm pretty excited about this because, again, I think a lot of the foundational work for the new Rotary year happens right now. We want to blow it out next year with President Jennifer Jones. We want to have an amazing year where we tell the Rotary story. Jennifer has made it part of her legacy, telling how important it is to tell your Rotary story. And so we want to support her as she takes the reins of this organization. And so that's why we're making sure that you're getting a head start on those first 3 tasks. So remember this, All Stars, and write that down, all lowercase, all one word, and you'll be able to get those first 3 tasks done as soon as you can. Now, as we wrap up, we have webinars here in Zone 34. We try to do one every month, and we feel like this is an opportunity for us to distribute training across the Rotary year. We want to make it available every month, and we feel like if we do it every month, there's a higher likelihood that you're going to take some of the lessons learned or the tactics or the strategies that we present in these webinars, and you're going to be able to put them in action immediately. A lot of times we go off to a district assembly or a district conference or an international convention, and we sit for days in rooms and listen to people talk. And it's kind of hard to absorb all that. It's that fire hose approach. And so that's why we make it an effort to do a monthly webinar, so we can distribute that training. And every month you can learn something new. And, we did a quick poll a couple of months ago on what you liked in terms of the webinars. And the one with Alice Henson, hat tip to Sean Patty for getting that lined up. Alice was the former RI photographer, and she did a session on visual storytelling that was very well received. Again, it's available to go back and watch the recording if you want. All of our webinars are available, the past webinars, and they make great programs. If you ever have an opportunity where maybe you don't have a speaker for a week, download one of those recordings and show it as a club, maybe a club training event. Public Image Bootcamp comes in at 13.3%. Canva was another big one at 19.3%. And then some of the others, the Check Yourself, where we talked about branding, the how the heck do you do that, where we talked about some great tools on the internet that you can use to do a lot of this. In Vaccines Work, I can't go without talking about past RI President John Germ joining us to talk about the importance of vaccines. And here we are in the middle of, World Vaccine Week, another great thing for us to talk about. It's, we know vaccines work, and we're living proof of that, because we are one country away now, right, from seeing the end of polio. So these are the webinars that you like. Always let us know if there's any that you want to see. We'll be happy to see if we can put something together and get those up on the schedule. So bottom line, one of the most important things that you can do as you go down this journey as a public image chair is to make it sustainable. The last thing we want you to do is to have an amazing year, and then the next year there's a drop off in your club where maybe there was not the cross training, and the next year no one knows how to fill your shoes. We want to make sure that there's cross training throughout, and that we create these artifacts early on of the audit and the content plan and all these different things that you can pass on to that next person, so that you make it sustainable. And before long, there is a culture of having a really amazing public image strategy in your club. So we want to make it sustainable. So you find people with the skills and the passion, although everybody's responsible for public image, find those with the skills and passion that really want to be a part of that team. Then make sure you cross train every one of those team members so that the next year you have a succession plan. So there's always going to be that next person up. And then you always want to make sure that you kind of do that audit and that accountability to make sure that everything is happening the way it's supposed to. And it's very consistent, just from a Rotary brand perspective, but also from your club has its own voice. Your club has its own unique culture. Make sure that you're kind of instilling that into your public image process so that you retain that culture and that voice in your public image plan. And so here we are. We have learned from others, and now it's time to take action. It's time for us to put all this in place. And we can do that by, first of all, we do have that toolkit that I mentioned where we have some things downloaded. It hasn't been quite updated yet for the new Rotary year. That's a test that our team is doing over the next couple of months. Our team has been busy supporting a lot of other initiatives across the zone. We haven't had you've heard the adage, don't just work in the business, but work on the business. And so the next couple of months, our team is going to be working on our business too, to make sure that we're completely ready to support you in the new Rotary year. So that toolkit, keep an eye on that. We're going to be adding some new resources to that over the next couple of months and have you ready on July 1st. But then at the end of the road, it's the public image citation. And it's that, the citation is great. The recognition is great. But what it means for your club and what it means for Rotary, for you to go through this and to make sure that you diligently and consistently tell the Rotary story is so important, because that's what's going to help grow our organization from a membership perspective, from a foundation perspective, so we can do more good work. That citation, that just enables us to do the good work of Rotary, because you have done an amazing job of telling the Rotary story. And so, I've used this slide a couple of times, and for me, it just resonates. I was at an event a couple of years ago, and Scott Harrison was there, and he is the CEO of the Charity Water program, and they're digging wells around the world. And he talked about how it's been written up that people peddle toothpaste and other goods with more sophistication than the world's life-saving causes. And you think about what Rotary means globally to people. And you look around and you wonder, where is the Nike? Where is the Apple? Where is the Virgin? You know, where are these recognized brands? Well, that's us. We're Rotary. And it's imperative that we tell the Rotary story. It's imperative that we do it in an imaginative and an inspiring way, because we want people to know the good stuff that we do. And we want them to be a part of this organization. We want them to give to our foundation so we can continue to do this. But then again, it's on us to market ourselves with sophistication and innovation. Don't just mail it in. Think of creative ways, not with the logo, but think of creative ways that you can tell the Rotary story. And if there's anything that I could impart on you, it's to just really think of creative ways to tell that Rotary story. Now, I always tell folks at the end of every session, you should always have a call to action. You should always, it's the marketer in me, you know, what's that logical next step that I need to take as a marketer or as a consumer or as a marketer to the consumer to tell them what to do next. For me, that call to action, and a lot of you have already done this. This was our April task, but for those of you who have not completed the April task, I'm going to ask you to take out your phone and open your camera and scan that QR code. And we want to know who is the incoming public image chair for your club. We want to know who is the incoming club president for your club. And we want to know who is the incoming club secretary. And what's going to happen is if your public image chair isn't on this call, I hope a lot of you incoming club public image chairs are on this call watching this, but if they're not, we're going to send them a recording of this. We're going to do the same for the president and the secretary because we know it's important that those folks know that these resources exist and that this team exists to help you tell that Rotary story. And we'll let your president, your secretary opt out. We'll tell them, you know, we're not going to keep you stuck in this email list if you don't want to be a part of it. We hope you stay because we think we have some really valuable stuff to offer, but we get it if you don't. But we hope that they do understand the great stuff that we make available to help Rotary clubs tell that Rotary story. So a couple of last little infomercials. If you're in Zone 34 and you can make it to Jacksonville in late June, we're going to be having our Zone 34 Summit. Actually, it's a seminar, not a summit. Summit is something different. But anyway, we're going to have incoming director Jeremy Hurst there. We're going to have General Secretary John Huco streaming in with some really inspirational stuff. And then we're going to have Rodney Bullard. Rodney is in charge of the Chick-fil-A Foundation and is going to talk about diversity, but also talk about the importance of understanding that every person has a story and every person has a need, and we can help folks in need. So it's going to be really inspirational, but you also have a chance to meet with all your zone coordinators one-on-one so we can talk about how we're going to work together in the new Rotary year. So definitely hope that you can make it to Jacksonville in late June. We'll make sure that the registration link is in that email. And last, we do have your Zone 34 public image team. I did not introduce them at the beginning of this. I got so excited about the public image bootcamp, I glossed right over it. But you already heard from Kim and from Sean. Kim is based out of Rotary 6900 in Thomasville, Georgia. And so she covers Rotary District 6900, 6910, and 6920. So Kim, say hello.
Hey everybody, I'm looking forward to working with you guys next Rotary year. Currently, I'm taking care of 6900, 6910, and 6940. And then next Rotary year, I'll have the 6900, 6910, and 6920.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. We also have Sean Patty, who you met earlier. Sean is based out of Trinidad. He covers districts 7000, 7020, and 7030. Sean, hello.
I'm here.
Hey.
Hey folks. So yeah, just like Kim, really glad to be on the team. Really glad to be helping out. You know, all the clubs in not just those 3 districts, but in the entire zone. And we really look forward to you guys, you know, sticking with it and attending these webinars, engaging with us. You know, we're here to help however best we can. So please feel free to reach out to us. Awesome.
And next up, we have current district governor, Michael Walstrom. You may know Michael. He is obsessed with Rotary. He's going to be covering Rotary 6930, Rotary 6990, and Rotary 6980. He's on the East Coast of Florida. And actually, I just moved Michael from the backstage. Sean, we left Michael backstage, but I think he's a part of the webinar now. So Michael, you want to say hello?
Sure. I'm thrilled to be joining the team. It'd be great to be working with everybody in 6930, 6980, and 6990. I was really happy that Marshall asked me to come on board, even though I think I've broken like every one of those logo rules. So I don't really know why they asked me to join, other than maybe they thought this was the quickest way to reform me.
That's right. Keep it close.
But I'm happy to be working with you guys.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the team, Michael. Glad to have you. We also have Allison Hussey. Allison is out of 6960. She's going to be covering 6960, 6890, and 6940. There was a mass internet outage apparently in Southwest Florida, and Allison has been fighting to get back online and has been unable to, but super happy to have Allison as part of the team, and she'll be supporting those districts. And then there's me. I'll be covering 6940 and 6970, so my home district of 6970 plus the Panhandle and the western portions of Florida in 6940, and super excited to support. You know, it used to, geography was super important as a coordinator and as an assistant coordinator. There's one thing that the last 2 years has taught us is that geography doesn't mean anything. We can support any club anywhere in our zone, or heck, around the world for that matter, through the magic of Zoom. So if you ever have a need for us to be a speaker at a club or need us to Zoom in, we can be anywhere, and we're always happy to help and support. So definitely want to make sure you know how to reach us. So with that, oh, wait, one more thing. No, that's it. So that is it for tonight. That is the Public Image Bootcamp. Again, we appreciate everyone being on this call tonight and kind of learning how the Public Image Bootcamp or the Public Image team can support you. I've just been told that we have a couple of questions. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and take those questions. Kim, what's up?
So Sean asked, any questions for how to have a central repository for pictures and text for multiple members to access for use in public postings like social media, newspaper, and newsletters?
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah. Sean comes from one of the greatest clubs in the world, and that's my club. She is the president-elect, and so happy that she's on our call tonight. So, you know, one of the ways that a lot of clubs do it is through a shared Dropbox folder. So, you know, create a Dropbox folder that you have multiple people have access to. We do that a lot on the zone team. We have some Dropbox folders that we share stuff with, and we have some automations that automatically take, when you guys submit tasks and submit photos, all that stuff goes into a Dropbox folder. All that feed to million stuff that you guys submit goes into a Dropbox folder that we have access to, so we can repurpose and reuse it in a lot of different ways. So maybe a Dropbox folder. Some people use Google Drive. Just find out, you know, what everyone in your club is comfortable with. And then also, if you have Canva and you have other people join your Canva account, they can also have access to those images and those graphics through Canva. Again, we're big proponents of Canva, and so we're always sharing photos back and forth on our Zone 34 team inside of Canva. So I would say, like any of the cloud folders, Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, find out what people will be most comfortable with. And then Canva is always going to be like our go-to on other ways that people can collaborate and work on social postings together.
Next question is from Cindy Ann, and she said, my club wants to brand mugs as a fundraiser, but even if it's on brand, I noticed the brand guidelines say we need to use a licensed supplier. Can you confirm?
Very good question. That's a great question, Cindy Ann. And you're right. Rotary, of course, wants you to always go with a licensed supplier first, if you know, if possible. If not possible, there is a application that you can submit for one-time logo usage. So, you know, last year we did an event down in Naples, and we made Turbis tumblers with the Rotary logo on it. And we couldn't find a vendor that could use the event logo and the Rotary logo. So we submitted that one-time application for logo usage to RI. It takes about a week to get it turned around. But then if everything is kind of above board, they'll give you permission. So it's in that Rotary toolkit that we talked about. So that's rotaryshares.org/ is it toolkit? I think, Sean, you might've posted that earlier. I'm gonna stick it in here, and we're gonna. This is not scripted. Maybe it's PI toolkit. Let's try that. If it isn't, we're gonna get it. Oh, we got the error. We got the 404-way test error.
Toolkit.
Yeah. So it's just toolkit. We did make it a lot easier than. All right, there it is. So toolkit. Ignore that first one. Go to the second one, and then scroll down about halfway down. There is a one-time release for promotional materials. So you can do that and yeah, create whatever you like. You can even create our Rotary clothes. So we are taking applications. We're taking orders right now for the all-star clothes. We have skirts, pants, shorts, capris. So and we did go through the process to make sure that we're doing all this stuff above board. So it's a quick little infomercial. All right. Any other questions?
Those were all the questions.
All right. Well, and I know we were talking and we were going through so much, but I just saw a whole lot of energy coming through that chat channel. So to the Zone 34 team that was handling the back office and making sure the chat was being monitored and watched, thank you so much. And to everyone that was participating and interacting through chat, thank you. I'm super excited to have all of you on board as part of the public image team for Rotary. And as always, if there's anything that our team can do to support you or help you, please let us know. We are here to help, and just glad to be there for you. So look forward to we'll get the registration for the next webinar going pretty soon. We're working on a couple of topics that we think we're going to do for May, so be on the lookout for that. And then we're going to work on getting the recording for tonight's webinar out. Fingers crossed it'll be tomorrow. Worst case is it may slip to Wednesday, but in the next day or two, you'll be able to access the recording and have all the links to all the resources that we talked about all in one place. So be looking for that email, and don't let it go to your spam folder. But with that, appreciate everyone's time, and look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care, everyone.